Welcome to Matcha Minutes, where we talk about what's going on in our community. Today, we're joined by the team behind Landon's Legacy, a local nonprofit created in the memory of Landon Vaughn. Landon was 18 years old when his life was tragically cut short in November of 23, but through Landon's legacy, his heart for others continues to make an impact. The organization is focused on helping students in Leavenworth USD 453 by removing barriers to education, helping with basic needs, and creating opportunities for students to participate in arts, sports, and extracurricular activities that they may otherwise not be able to access. We have Rhonda and Garrett here, the nonprofit leaders, the parents of Landon. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
We are excited to learn more about Landon's legacy. I know we helped build some of the websites, so we've gotten to see some of the stuff behind the screen. As we kind of dive into this, what can you tell us about Landon?
Well, I will start with, he had a very giving soul, and that was kind of where this came from. But, and I know everybody, if they have somebody who passes away, they have all the positive things to say about them. But, it's true. And I always say we have two boys. They're very different. We have an older son who's 23 now, and then we have Landon, and kind of their thing through life was our older son, Caleb. He was kind of the it's about me. Now he's a great kid and he's there for anybody that needs him. And then there was Landon, who was the people pleaser, always looking to see what somebody needed. He would give away anything he had to help somebody. And he truly was like that through his life. He struggled with some anxiety as he got a little bit older. That was a big problem for him. But he was emotional and caring and was just there for anybody. So
he was also a hard worker. He was my apprentice when he passed. He'd worked for me for a year. And he was my hunting buddy, my riding buddy. I get on the bike, and he'd just jump on the back, even when he was a really young age. He just, we were a pretty good team. So,
can you tell us a little bit about his story and what happened?
Yeah. So his girlfriend, he was dating a girl that was going to MU, and he had. It's kind of a neat story. It's kind of neat but sad. So that morning, he had picked up a part-time job at Taco Bell. And I think it was his first Saturday back, if I remember right.
What time of year is this?
This was...
So people have a reference.
It was in around November.
It was November 11th.
November 11th, his day passed, yeah. So I was getting ready to leave, and he was standing in the kitchen doing dishes, and he had his little black robe on, his hair was a mess, but he kind of grown his hair out, and he got it kind of long, so I was always giving him a hard time about it at work. And that morning, he had combed it, and I was like, man, your hair looks really good today. He's like, what? I said, yeah, you take care, it looks good, and we kind of laughed about it. And so as I was leaving, I said, hey, text me when you leave, because his girlfriend was going to MU, so he was going to go down and see her after work. And he said, okay. And so he texted me when he was leaving. It was about 3.5 hours, I hadn't heard from him. So
I was out of town.
Yeah, she was in Florida, yeah.
Okay.
So I'd reach out to him. I was like, hey, Bubba, I'm not seeing you. And the phone it went straight to, on a text message, it's blue if they get it, or green if it's not, whatever. So he didn't get it. So I thought, well, he didn't charge his phone. And then a couple hours later, I started getting a little bit worried. And anyway, long story short, we think he fell asleep and crossed the highway and hit a truck head on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That has got to be difficult. And you're not even here when that happens. And so I can't imagine how difficult that was for you. It's sad because we had Eric L. Miller here last week. We had the Cruz family on. Andy was on talking about Cruz. How many children, I say children, he was 18, but young people have died in our community.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you.
It's heartbreaking.
Yes.
I can't imagine how you survived that, but you guys have turned that pain into something that is helping other people. What is one of the best memories you have of Landon that kind of describes his personality and who he was?
Well, I will say one thing that I always mention when we're talking about Landon's legacy and how it's so appropriate for him, how he would just jump in to help people. And, he did that throughout life. But one of the later things that he did, he was, I think, out of high school. I do home health, and I had a family who needed a ramp built, and they lived in KCK. and there were just no resources for them because they lived in a trailer. And there's a lot of resources out there if you have your own home, but no place will do it on land that you don't own. So they and it got to the point that the man just could not get out of the house.
Oh, wow.
And so our small group raised the money, and some of the guys went and built a ramp, but Landon just volunteered and jumped right in and helped build the ramp for him, and he didn't know them, or he just knew they needed it. And, he was more than willing to help. So
Such a big heart.
Yeah, he really did that.
You guys use the phrase "be the light." What does that mean?
You would go ahead.
Sure. Well, it comes from the verse in the Bible, Matthew 5:16. And so our goal is we would really like to be a light for Leavenworth students and show God's love to them through just simple acts of being there for them, supporting them, doing things for them, but to show them the love of God through what we're doing in memory of Landon.
So Landon has this tragic accident. You guys go through all the things that happen when somebody passes. At what point did you decide that you wanted to create a nonprofit to honor him? How did that come about?
Yeah, it was more mom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a person that I have to be doing something. That's kind of my coping mechanism to get through things. And had a wonderful support system of great friends. And we initially I was just like, what can we do? What can we do? And so the very first thing that we did was we had our first 5K, and that would have been in May of 24. Landon passed away in November of 23, but we were not a nonprofit yet. So we did the 5K in memory of Landon, and he loved animals. So we donated the proceeds to Hope Animal Rescue at that time.
Had a great turnout too.
And we had a great turnout. I think we raised about $3,000 through that. And then I just got to thinking, if we can do that, just throwing something together, how can we turn this into something that would really benefit the community or something Landon would be proud of? And then it just kind of started growing from there.
And so the nonprofit you came up with the name Landon's Legacy. Now, how does Flip fit into all this? And for those of you who don't know, Flip is the frog.
Flip is the frog. So Landon was obsessed with frogs at a very young age and would play with them until he killed them. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
You remember that? There was a cartoon with a little girl who used to play with the little puppies, talking about back in our day. And then she would struggle them and I love you so much. But, so anyway, he would. And then we were trying to figure out, okay, so Frog's going to be the mascot. How do we come up with his name? Well, Landon's foolish self dislocated his shoulder, tore another rotator cuff, doing backflips trying to impress girls. He was obsessed with backflips. Even got the Lansing community pool evacuated because he busted his head on a diving board one day and bled
when he was like 7.
7.
Yeah, I mean,
so they eliminated backflipping now because of him. So anyway, so that's how Flip the Frog was born.
Okay. And so you guys go to events. You dress up as Flip, Garrett?
So everybody who supports us in any way, then we try to go get pictures with them. We post it on our social media as a thank you, just a way to, support them back. But yes, I am Flip. I am the frog.
When we talk about the mission of Landon's Legacy, what is the mission statement for you guys?
We just really want to help. Landon, I guess the question will probably come up later about the shoe, but Landon had such a giving heart, and we realized early on. So I used to coach in Leavenworth for a lot of youth football and basketball and soccer. And it seemed like we always had kids that we were adopting for the season, to help get them back and forth to sports. And, kids can't afford cleats. They can't afford the pads. They can't afford just sometimes to eat, So we would have kids that are home, have them for dinner. We give them a practice, and we just realized that there was such a disconnect there and a lot of kids needing stuff, just simple things to play sports just to help, and it just helps you get through the day, So we wanted to be a part of that. We wanted to be able to help.
We also wanted to be kind of no red tape. And we have, the very simple application. And We would love to be able to help all students, but we just don't have the funds to do that. So it's limited to Leavenworth school system, but we don't dive into how much money you make per year or this or that. We do have a cap. We try to limit it to about $250 per student per year or $500 to household. But we have gone over that, and we can. That's what I can do as the executive director without asking, you know. But if it's a need that's larger than that, then our board needs to vote on it. But again, it's just kind of a no red tape approach to helping.
How many people do you guys have on the board?
There's 9 total. I'm the executive director, so I do not, or no, there's 8. I'm the executive director. I do not vote. And then we have 7 voting members.
Yeah.
Okay. And I assume, Garrett, you're on the board as well?
I'm the president. Yep.
Okay.
Just means I do what I'm told.
As all good husbands do.
That's right.
You talk about barriers. What kind of barriers do you see kids facing that you can help with?
Well, there's been a lot. We've helped in many ways. We've helped with clothing. We've helped with utility bills. We've helped with food. We've helped with. We did a Christmas party for Big Brothers Big Sisters last year.
Wow.
We sent one girl recently. We just sent to a wrestling tournament. She's a really good wrestler in town, and young girls. That's a new sport, fairly new for young girls. So we will help with that. My gosh.
Speech and debate camp, cheer camp, we bought boots for one student in the JROTC. So really just...
we've helped, we paid fees for students to be able to walk the stage during graduation because, that accumulates all the way through middle, elementary, and high school. And then all of a sudden they're hit with $400 or $500, or whatever it is. So we've been able to help with that as well.
So we're not just talking about scholarships for kids going to college. You're talking about helping kids with anything they need.
Yeah.
Right.
Basic needs sometimes,
we say in our mission statement or in there that we really want to be able to see kids have what they need to thrive in life, not to go home and worry about, am I going to have food, or is there electricity, or a good example is recently a girl applied for a speech and debate camp, assistance with that. And she wants to be a lawyer, and she's trying to move forward with that. Well, just, so the needs, but also those opportunities to help them thrive in life.
Wow. That's amazing, because I think when I saw that, I took it as you're talking about scholarships for college, but this really goes far deeper than that. I mean, kids that just need anything.
Yes.
How many kids have you helped so far, would you say?
Should have looked that up, but I know we've paid out a little over $15,000 since last May.
We're just a year old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I'm not sure the exact amount of students, but we've helped students. We made a donation to the middle school wrestling program, which Landon would have loved because wrestling was his passion. We have made donations actually to the middle school for like strength and conditioning t-shirts for the kids that are coming in over the summer. So we also help with some of the school programs.
Wow.
Also.
It's amazing. A lot of the people, and we talked about the children, young kids that have passed in our community. I've seen so many people on this podcast that have overcome that and taken that pain and turned it into something beautiful. I mean, just like you guys, just like for the Eric Miller Foundation, Cruise for Life, I'm not sure I have that within me to do that. And I commend you guys on being able to take that pain and turn it into something, because it so easily could just crush you, I think.
Yeah.
I've talked to people, not on the podcast, who've suffered through that and who have been crushed by that. And they turn to substance abuse to overcome that pain. So I find it just amazing at your resilience and your guys' ability to overcome that. So, thank you for what you do for our community. I don't know if you guys hear that enough.
Well, let me say this too, though. When we had his service, we had it at a church here in town, and we were expecting, I think it sat a little over 300, and we were expecting 100, 150 people, but the community just showed up in groves. We had over 300. There were standing room, people just standing, no seats, and people that we didn't even personally know, but just that Landon had touched in different ways. He was struggling. He struggled in school, so he was getting his GED. He failed his math test 4 times.
He passed everything but the math test.
And he failed it 4 times in a row with the exact same score. And he just couldn't get over that math hurdle. But the teacher showed up, and brought a little diploma. You know what I mean? So I was so touched by the community. And then they've shown up in every time we have an event. This community is so amazing and has such big hearts. And it's probably because the community at large has been through so much loss, as you've said. I know several other families within 3 or 4 years of Landon have lost kids, daughters and sons. So it's not just affecting us, but we couldn't have done it without the community and our friends, our board members, because everybody on our board we've known for a long time or has had a relationship with Landon. So we've just been really blessed.
And that's such a positive spin on it. Yeah, sorry, it's a little emotional for me just to hear your story. How do you think these opportunities change a student's confidence when they get these scholarships, as you call them?
Well, I think, for one, I think they're going to see that there are people out there that don't know you, but that care about you, and that's something that I never thought about growing up. You know what I mean? Plus, we're removing barriers that they don't have to think about. And you know what? Sometimes they may not realize it till they're an adult and they look back and they see a need and they're like, wow, we were helped by so-and-so when I was a kid, and maybe I should pass that on,
We had one student, and a lot of what we do are just little things. I say we kind of fill the gap, in which there's a huge gap there, but we kind of help fill that gap. And we had one student, and it really touched my heart because he filled out the application. He needed assistance paying fees so he could walk the stage at graduation. He really wanted to be able to do that. And I think it was a little over our $250 cap. So I had to meet with the board, and of course, everybody approved it. So we paid it. And he just responded and said, you guys are such a godsend, and I will never forget the help that you've given me. And so just, things like that, little things that we do, but it can mean so much to somebody.
What about parents of these students? Have you had conversations with them?
Typically, when we drop stuff off, she gets a chance to talk to the parents and meet them, and I think everybody's been super responsive and obviously thankful. So
yeah, we always take them a brochure because they may not know anything about us. A lot of times they're referred through the schools. We've been able to. Like I said, we gave our first assistance in May of 25, so we're still pretty new. But throughout this school year, we've been able to meet with all of the school counselors. We met with superintendent, all the principals. So just trying to get the word out there to, if you know of a need, use us. We've been able to go to a couple of staff meetings at the school so we can speak with the teachers. So a lot of times, they may not know what we're about, the parents, but they'll say, if we have a question on there of who referred you or how did you hear about us? And a lot of times it's just, a school counselor told them about us. So we are able to, if we deliver something, give them a brochure so they can see what exactly we're all about.
A lot of this you already covered. You guys went through a lot of this. That's good. No, you're involved also in other things, not just Landon's legacy, but you're also on the board for the Eric Miller Foundation, I understand. How did you get involved with that?
Well, that is just so close to my heart, and I hope I can talk about this without crying. I'm the crier, so that's why I let Garrett handle the sensitive situations. But Eric and Landon were very good friends. And when Eric passed away...
Stop for just a second.
Okay.
For those that didn't tune in last week, we had the Eric Miller Foundation on, and they talked about Eric Miller, who also, his godmom talked about him passing away. And so at the time, I didn't know that Landon and Eric were friends. So if you'll take it from there.
Sure. Yeah, it's just surreal how you don't know what life holds, for sure. But Landon, our boys went to a small Christian school for like the first few years of their life. But Landon, I think, was in 2nd grade when he started elementary school here. And Eric was in his class, and they were just instant friends. So we had known Eric since then. And when Eric passed away, it was just... unreal. Like I couldn't believe it. And again, Garrett and I were out of town.
Wow.
And Landon called us and he was just so distraught. Like, and I was like, no, I'm sure he's going to get better. Like,
Uh-huh.
and then he didn't, and he passed away. And that was a real hard time for all of us. But I don't think, and Landon passed away. That was in February. So 9 months later.
Wow.
But he definitely never recovered from that. He would still sit in his room and just cry sometimes and remembering Eric. But so Jana and we did not know each other before that. Like, well, I had picked Eric up from her house or dropped Landon off over there, but I didn't know her. So after this, obviously, we bonded and had something that we were helping each other work through. And then when she mentioned quite a while back wanting to do this, like the youth achievement building or whatever it is, I wanted to be a part of whatever I could do to help. So then when she finally got it organized, and things in place, she reached out to see if I would want to be on the board for that. And I said, it's amazing to me that I can see Landon's legacy using that building for so many things. So
Sure.
Landon and Eric still working together to benefit their community.
Wow. That's a lot. You guys chose to do a 5K. What was significant about a 5K?
Well, so that was, again, the thing I said that was like, we need to do something, so we're like, well, let's do a 5K. Well, where do you do a 5K? And, all of that. But there was a route that I walk from our house, and I walk it all the time. And my husband doesn't ever want to walk with me. Caleb never wanted to walk with me, but Landon would walk with me all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I got to thinking, I'm like, that's right about 3 miles. And we go past Cody Park. And so I measured it off, and it's 3.1 miles, exactly a 5K. So that's kind of what spurred to have it there. And it's pretty neat that we do it at Cody Park. Landon grew up playing there. It's the track that he would walk with me a lot. And he has a memorial tree there. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
it's just...
It's a really neat story too. So our church group, they went together and got the tree for us and had it planted, and then we put a little memorial block there or whatever. But so we did I guess a dedication is what you would call it after a 5K. So they finally got it planted, and we all kind of stood around a little bit, and I probably shouldn't know that I should say this out loud, but whatever. So you're not supposed to dump ashes in the ground, but I did. So we moved the mulch around, and as I moved the mulch up, a little green frog popped up,
Oh my
which
God.
was so symbolic. Like everybody just started bawling. You know what I mean? So we went ahead and left some of his ashes there, and then covered it back up and left the frog there. But and then we just had our dedication service for him. But,
Wow.
So Cuddy Park holds a very special place for us.
What church are you guys affiliated with? Just out of curiosity.
It's a small group. It's called Harvest KC, and we just meet on Sunday nights. It's actually people from a lot of different churches, but we do a Bible study on Sunday nights and have dinner together, and it's a great group.
We've been friends with them for years.
How many people do you guys usually get for your 5K? How many people attend?
Oh,
This last year, we've had it 3 times now. The first year was definitely the biggest turnout, and that's kind of where, everybody wanted to do something. It was really fresh, and I think we had about 80 people that year. Not all of them walked. A lot of people just came to support. And then the second year, it kind of fell off a little bit. It was still fine, maybe 40. And then it grew again this past year. I think we had a little over 50, 55. But the exciting thing for me was all of our events have kind of been the same people for the most part. We've just been doing them for about a year, and it's friends, family, people we know. But the 5K this year was probably half people that we didn't know.
Oh, really?
So I feel like, the word is spreading, others are supporting, which is exactly what we want. So that was exciting to see.
I saw that there's a family game day event listed at the Lansing Community Center. Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Yeah, so we've had it 2 years in a row, and we kind of switch it up. We have chili, Flip shows up, we have games. Some of her big brothers, little sisters show up. We just really get together, and it's not super organized. We just play some games and fellowship and tell a little bit about our nonprofit and eat some food. It's really just kind of real chill, something to do in the winter, when it's cold.
So we do it in February.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great time for families to come out or friends and support us by buying a bowl of chili, but you can play games. We had some life-size games for kids. We had a life-size Candyland. This past year, we did the human slot machine, which was a big hit. The kids had a lot of fun with that.
Still got a rotator cuff injury.
We will be pulling that out again sometime. We got the granny pants game where they have to catch the ball in the big pants. And so, yeah, it's really a fun time.
Yeah.
What are some practical ways that people can support Landon's legacy?
I think number one is just talk about us. Tell your friends, tell your family, keep us in the forefront of your mind, because if you don't know about us, we can't help you. There's ways to get online and donate if you want. If you want to come help, just help us. When we're doing our 5K, we always need helpers, volunteers. What else?
Yeah, I would say, and just coming out to events, we try to do a wide variety of things. So there's a little something for everyone. Everybody might not want to be at every event, but there might be a couple that would speak to them. Yeah. And really, people have asked if we take donations of items. We really don't. The only thing I would say that we would take donations of would be like old, they're in decent shape, like cleats of any sport or any kind of sports gear, because we could pass that on to the schools.
Well, that's good to know. I think we have some extra for my son when he was young.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've never decided what to do with it. It's sitting in a box. So it's good to know.
Yeah.
If people want to come to your website, can you give us the website address?
Sure. It is Landon's, LANDONS -legacy.com. You have to put the dash in there. It'll take you to a different Landon. And there's a lot of information on there. It tells all about, what we're doing. That is where you can typically buy tickets for events. You can make a donation. That's where our application is for assistance. It's kind of up towards the top of the page. That's why I try to tell people it's just very simple. Go to our website, you click on that application and fill out a few questions, and it comes to me, and I check it pretty much every day, and we're pretty quick with responses. So.
And they can donate on the website as well?
Yes, there's also a spot to donate there.
Yep.
Years from now, when people hear the name Landon's Legacy, what is it you hope they think of?
Just, I would say love, kindness, doing something for others.
Hope.
What is the hardest part of building a nonprofit while you're carrying all that grief?
Honestly, I think we've been so blessed. I don't know that we've had a lot of real bad struggles.
I think that it's very, when I speak to people, I usually say this is therapy for me. So it's a lot of work, but I enjoy every minute of it. I do think one of the harder things is pretty much every time we have an event, it's kind of a heavy feeling because at some point it dawns on you that we're doing great things and Landon would be happy about this, but he's not here.
That's why we have to do it.
Right. So that's probably the hardest part.
We're going to switch gears now and go away from something so heavy to learn a little bit more about Garrett and Rhonda Vaughn.
Okay.
I call these icebreaker questions or rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay.
So we'll start with you, Garrett. One word to describe Landon.
Easy. He was so easygoing. He was always willing to help. He was always, he may not want to do what you want to do, but he's going to do it.
One word.
I know. I said I had to explain. Okay.
All right, Rhonda.
I would say.
And you can't explain it if you want.
I would say caring.
Okay.
And if I explain that, I would just say he was the kid that if I wanted to go do something, if nobody else wanted to do it, he'd be like, "I got you, Mom. I'll go with you."
One word to describe Landon's legacy.
I would say light. We want to be the light.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Garrett. Favorite local place in Leavenworth to eat?
Oh, I don't know that that's fair. Um,
And we're limiting it to Leavenworth because you limited it to USD 453.
so not Leavenworth County, but Leavenworth.
Leavenworth City now.
Favorite? That's kind of tough. What do you think?
I mean, we go to Tenpenny all the time, and their food is good. The atmosphere is good. I mean, it'd probably be our
Great
favorite,
people.
Yeah.
just because they do so much for the community. It's a fun atmosphere. and
Nice
good
is really
food.
good too.
That's not Leavenworth.
Oh, it is?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
You guys limit to USD 453, so I wanted to keep
That's
that.
fair. Okay. I broke the rule.
Yeah, no, the Romines, that very caring people. They have multiple nonprofits. Incredible people.
They are.
Since you brought it up, favorite place to eat in Lansing?
Well, is it La Coretta?
La Coretta.
La Coretta.
But didn't you just say La Mesa?
I did, and I was thinking that was Leavenworth. It's gonna have it has to be La Coretta. Yeah.
Rhonda?
Probably La Coretta in Lansing. I mean, we're all about the Mexican food.
Okay. I'm shocked nobody said Tampico. 90% of people on here say Tampico.
Yeah, we like Tampico
it's good.
too. We do like Tampico.
A lot of people say there's not many places to eat in town until I asked them this question, and you realize we have a lot more
We have
places
a lot
to eat than people really think about.
Yeah. There's another good Mexican place, though. I don't know the name of it, but it's
Oh, it's a new one. El Salvador,
El Salvador or
something
something?
like that. It's just
really
a little.
Yeah, I haven't
gotta
tried that one yet.
Take it home.
Get us talking about tacos.
Favorite team: Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, or
It's Chiefs by far.
by far?
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Okay, all right. So I didn't even have to say anybody. Oh, then let's go KU or K State or Mizzou.
Mizzou.
Ooh, okay.
KU.
KU. All right, I like it better.
House divided.
Best advice you would give a high school student?
I would say what you're living in is very temporal. It's don't let the heaviness of the day weigh you down, and just look to the future and set your sights big.
I would say find you a group of older people for advice. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's safety in a multitude of counselors. Always ask questions, question everything. It's the way you're going to learn.
I would always tell my kids nothing good happens after midnight.
That is very true.
We've said that so many times.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
That's for sure.
One thing every student deserves.
To smile.
I would just say opportunities.
I like that. Favorite community event?
So whether it's ours or somebody else's,
Not Landon's Legacy.
because we do some fun stuff.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, we typically always go to the Night of Hope, and that's a great
That is a good
night.
That is a great time.
But I also love everything about the festival in September, the
Leavenworth, Camp Leavenworth.
I mean, I just think it's great. It celebrates our city. It's casual. And it's a lot of different things, between the 5K, the bands, the vendors. I think it's a great event.
Yeah, I worked the door last year on Saturday night before the concert. I think I clicked in 2,700 people.
Wow.
That's a great turnout.
Yeah, it was. I think they had over 10,000 people for that event.
Wow.
And I talked to people from Vegas, way outside of our community, that happened to be here, and they're like, "This is amazing."
That's great.
So,
Yeah.
coffee, tea, or soda?
Coffee.
Ooh, probably soda. I mean, I like some coffee, but I have one glass in the morning. The rest is soda.
What soda are we talking about?
Diet Coke.
Okay, all right. Morning person or night owl?
Midday.
Midday people. We're not early birds, and we are not staying up late.
What's one way somebody can show kindness?
I would just say a simple smile shows kindness.
Appreciation. Just saying thank you, or
One local business or organization you'd like to thank?
I mean, we have I can't just say one. There's so many. I want to say thank you to you. You guys,
Oh, I appreciate that.
you helped us with our website. You revamped it. You volunteered all the labor and knowledge, and you still answer questions when I call. So, no, I greatly appreciate that.
And I would have to agree. We knew nothing about setting up a website, running a web. We knew nothing. And you guys were amazing to get it set up. And it's an easy platform. Like we have had some questions, but you guys have been there to help us. And that's probably been the biggest thing, because that gets the word out to so many people. And that's how we manage our events and, everything, the applications, the donations, everything goes through that website. So
I appreciate the kind words. I didn't ask that question expecting that answer, but I appreciate the kind words. I will say that once one of you guys texts, Catherine is on me to answer immediately. She is like, you need to answer now. I'm like, Catherine, I can't get to it right this second. You need to answer right now. Yeah. So I stop what I'm doing
we
to answer.
appreciate her.
She's incredible at helping so many different organizations, and it's one of her passion projects as well.
That's awesome.
Best way for people to follow Landon's legacy?
Well, there's a couple ways. Social media, we stay pretty active on social media. So
Are we talking just Facebook, Instagram?
we have Facebook and Instagram. We're going to be working on some TikToks.
Okay.
But Facebook and Instagram, and you'll get all kinds of information on there. But also check out our website. And then we do put out a quarterly newsletter. So there's a lot of people who don't necessarily do social media. So we try to recap things in newsletters, and they can go to our website. And there's a spot on there that says contact us, and you can ask there to sign up for our newsletter.
That's incredible. One thing you want listeners to do after this episode?
I'd say get online and check out our website.
Yeah. Learn more about Landon's legacy, what we have going on. Think about ways that maybe you could help some local students or get involved in some way.
We have a couple big events coming up this summer that'll be pretty big. So we, love to have you guys come out.
Before we close, I'm going to give you a chance to speak directly to the audience and just kind of tell them what you'd like them to know.
Okay. Well, I think we'd like you to know that we're here for the community. We're definitely not doing this for our accolades in any way, but we want to be there to help these students. And like Garrett said, we do have a couple of big events coming up this summer. They're both ends of the spectrum, so they would be for anybody. The first one is June 25th. It's called Light the Night, and it is more of a formal fundraiser at the upper level of Tenpenny, which is a beautiful new space that they've redone. And we're going to have a silent auction. There'll be dinner. Deja Renell will be singing for the first 2 hours. And then we're going to have DJ Mile High for the last 2 hours. And the special thing about that night is we are honoring a Leavenworth High School teacher. Landon had an amazing, I don't know, I always say homeroom teacher. It's not homeroom anymore, but all through high school. And her name was Miss Wendy Glick. And she was just a rock for him with his anxiety. She could calm him down. She could keep him on track. She truly cared about him, and they stayed in touch. And so we're calling it the Miss Glick Leading with Light Award. And we let the students, the high school students, nominate teachers that they felt had made a difference in their life. And so there were a lot of nominations, over 50 responses, which I thought was pretty good in a week's time from high school students. Several had multiple nominations, but Mr. Sam Mesler, we notified him of this at the staff meeting at the high school in May, but he won. He had 10 nominations out of those 53 that we had, I think. So we'll be honoring him that night. Miss Glick is coming in from Colorado, so we'll be honoring her also. It's going to be a fun night.
Do people need to buy tickets? Or you looking for sponsors?
Absolutely.
Yes, we could use sponsors. Tickets are for sale on our website, landons-legacy.com. And then in September 12th, we're going to be having a festival. We're calling it at Haymarket Square. We're going to have a band. Bo and the Beards is going to play. We're going to have a cornhole tournament, and there's 2 different divisions. There's a backyard division for those who just want to come, have some fun, support Landon's legacy, and then there's a competitive division for those who are really into their cornhole and ready to win. And then we'll also have vendors, food trucks, things like that there, and that will also be on our website soon.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come and visit and talk about this. I know it's not the easiest thing to talk about. I admire the both of you for everything that you've been through and how you've taken that and turned it into something so beautiful. Thank you for what you do for the community and all of our children. I don't know if you guys hear that enough. Landon's legacy is a reminder that life can continue to make a difference through the people who love them, through a community willing to step up. For everyone listening, this is the kind of work that depends on community support and making sure young people have access to the things that help them grow, participate, and thrive. Landon's light is still shining through his work. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.